Cha-ching! I do have a story I want to tell. I think this is gonna be my 2-week notice, and they're like, definitely the most exciting thing is that oh my gosh, I haven't been back in a while. This is very foreign to me to be talking to a camera again. But anyways, there's been a lot of stuff that has happened. One, I switched clinics, and I'll get more into that. I am getting paid more now. And two, I quit the cupcake shop, and now I work at an ice cream shop, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. I caved. I got a Owala, and I wanted to make one of those charms. So I got a whole bunch of beads. I got this yarn. Anyway, so I'm gonna figure out how to do all this and also talk about what's been going on in my life, because I haven't been on here for like, I don't even know, 6 months or something. First, I quit the cupcake shop. That's my phone. I quit the cupcake shop. I was there for 3 months, and I don't know if you remember, but basically it was like a 6-month probation period before I became an owner. So I maybe like month 2, I was like, hey, I want to know how I'm doing. Can we do a review at the 3-month mark? And they're like, oh yeah, of course, sure. 3 months come by, and I'm like, okay, let's do this date, or like, let's pick a date. So like, I know I'm prepared for my review. So we picked a date, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. The date comes, and they like all forget that I have this review, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, is the review still happening? And they're like, oh yeah. And I was like, you know what? I think this is gonna be my 2-week notice. And they're like, yeah, they were surprised, but they also didn't talk about it. Like, it was like immediately brushed off, and just like, oh, we need to hire for another position. This is so difficult. If people are leaving, how are we gonna keep this business? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, this is why I'm leaving, because there's a lot of things that aren't like explicitly said. People just kind of like brush things aside when things get uncomfortable, and like, I just cannot run a business with people who are not like very explicit about what is going on. So that's the main reason I started looking. Well, honestly, I wasn't even looking for another job. I just happened to go to this ice cream shop that is like trending, up and coming, and my friend told me that was going to be really good ice cream, so I just went over there, and it had a sign that said they were hiring. I was like, oh, sure, why not? Let's apply to this position. And I got that job. And that was around the time, well, I got the job, yeah, around the time of the 3-month review, and I was like, no, like, I just fit better with the ice cream shop. Like, the people are, I don't know, I just get along with them a lot better. And so that's why I quit the ice cream shop, or that's why I quit the cupcake shop. And I'm so glad that I did, because the ice cream shop is so much better. I like it so much more. Like, it feels more professional. Also, I mean, yeah, it feels more professional because it is more professional. I don't know. I don't want to shit too much on the cupcake shop, but like, I really like the ice cream shop. First, I like the food more. Not a diss on the cupcake shop. The cupcakes were really good too, but the ice cream, I don't know. There's someone who works in the kitchen everyone who works in the kitchen is very talented, and I feel so much more inspired by them to like cook more. So I've been cooking more at home. I don't know, the chit chat with them is just like more fun. I don't know, just generally, it's just like my people, you know? So I love the ice cream shop. I've been working maybe like a little over 15 hours a week. So I've kind of scheduled my week. So it's like therapist, ice cream, therapist, ice cream, therapist, ice cream. And that's been working like beautifully for me. The fact that I don't have to have 2 days back to back with client stuff is like made more of a difference than I imagined. It just really helps to kind of like lighten the mood a little with like ice cream shop work, where I'm not talking about trauma, and I'm not talking about like your deepest worries and fears. We're talking about how your day is and how the ice cream tastes and all that stuff, which just really helps me right now at this point in my career as a therapist. So I love that for me. I love that for me. Anyways, I made my little set thing, and now I'm going to use these letters and write my name And while I do that, I'm going to talk about starting this new clinic. So why I like switch clinics and all of that. So basically, I was at a practicum way back when I was in school getting my master's. I was in my practicum that was associated to my school. And so when school ended, my practicum ended, obviously, and then I decided to take the one year associateship program at that same clinic. So I stayed at the clinic that I did my practicum, but it's a 1 year program. So after 1 year, everybody has to leave. And so that's why I left. September was when I needed to find a new clinic. And I basically went to the clinic that practicum and associateship is basically like a feeder into this clinic that I am working at now. So there's a lot of like overlap in the ways that they do therapy at this new clinic as the way that therapy was taught in my associateship and my practicum. So there's a lot of like cohesion there, which is great because I really was looking for some place that was as similar to my practicum and associateship as possible because I really enjoyed doing therapy in that style. And so yeah, I started a new site, and that also means my finances are all different, and I probably should do a whole separate video on that because it's a big difference. So when I was in my associateship, I mean, I still am an associate. I'm not licensed yet. But when I was doing the 1 year associateship before to this clinic, I was getting paid a little over minimum wage per client hour, even if the client was paying me way more money. So I think my highest paying client at that point was like $110. So even though the client was paying me $110, I was still getting paid like $21 or something. So finally, now that I switched over to this new clinic, I get most of the client pay. So the $110, I get like most of it. It's just that now I have to pay. I'm basically like acting as my own business now. So I have to pay for my office space and pay for my supervision and pay for the credit card fee. Like all of those things I pay for. Versus before, like I mentioned, although I was getting paid like very low, I didn't have to pay for office space, supervision, and all of that. So in some ways, in many ways, in almost all the ways, I have more autonomy over what I do. I get to pick which office space I want. So I basically went searching for a new place to rent, which is, I don't know, it just like really feels like I'm running my own business now, kind of, because I have my own space. I'm subleasing from 2 different places in San Francisco. And that was, I don't know, that was really fun to be able to like pick the physical space that I want to see my clients, because so far this whole time, the last 2 years that I've been seeing clients, it's always been like the office was already given to me. I couldn't really decorate anything. I mean, I still can't decorate anything because I'm subleasing from someone, but I have more say of like what kind of office I want to rent out. You get the point. So on top of renting out new spaces, there's also a bunch of new platforms that I am learning to use because they use a different electronic health system, health record, EHR, health record, EHR system. Basically, it's like the platform you use to like save all your progress notes, your clinical notes, client details, payment. All that is like a whole different system, which I also have to pay for, which I'm like getting adjusted to. We use a separate billing system that's like an app that we use on our phones. There's like the whole way payroll works. There's a lot of like admin things I'm still getting adjusted to. And not gonna lie, the month transitioning into this clinic was like really stressful because it's almost like if you were working at a startup or like you had a business and all of a sudden someone came in and you're like, we're gonna keep how you're doing the business, but you're gonna change all your platforms. So go from the Google Suite to like the Microsoft Suite. So you gotta like move all of that stuff over and try to have the client experience as seamless as possible. So that's kind of like how it felt. But I'm pretty much done with all of that now. I've transitioned them over, so I feel like finally I don't have to like stress out about it as much. And definitely the most exciting thing is that I'm getting paid more. So I can actually see when I charge my client after each session, I'm like, dang, cha-ching, I got $70, $100, however much I'm getting paid for by the client. And that's almost all of it is going into my bank account. Well, okay, not quite. Not really, because like I said, there's all these other expenses that I have to pay, but it feels so much better. I don't know. I really feel like I think of the therapy different, or like my job slightly differently when it feels like I am more in control of like the whole aspect of it. Because yes, I am a therapist, and the main bulk of my work is like what happens in the session, but there's a lot of like background things, admin-y things that you do if you want to run a private practice. And I feel like I'm much more in control of that now because of this new clinic, and I feel a lot better about it. I do have a story I want to tell. I mean, it's not really a story. It's just like bad shit happens in San Francisco sometimes. So it was my first day in one of my offices, and I don't have parking in this spot, and it's like downtown San Francisco, so I have to move my car ever so often because I don't want to get paid. I don't want to get a ticket, right? So I move my car, and I'm like, okay, great. It's a pretty good part of the city, but it's also the city, so like, gotta always be careful. I basically finished my sessions. I was like, okay, time to go home. It's still bright out, and I get to my car. Someone broke in. My little vent triangle window in the back is like smashed, and they pulled the back seat down to see if anything was in my trunk. And I was really lucky because usually my trunk is filled with stuff. I have my weightlifting shoes, my tennis racket, my spike ball. Like that's like my second closet. I usually keep a lot of stuff in there, but I conveniently, so lucky, took all of it out the day before because I found a desk on Marketplace that I wanted to buy. So I took everything out. And because of that, whoever broke in didn't take anything. But also it's like such an invasion of privacy to have your car broken into. That's how it feels for me. I was really stressed out about it because, I mean, I was lucky, again, because it was that small window. I've had other windows smashed, and it makes it a lot harder to drive on the highway because all the glass is going everywhere, but I was lucky. It was just that small window, so I didn't have too much of a problem driving to other places until I got the car fixed. On the weekend, I was gonna get my car fixed, so I woke up early. I had like a morning appointment. I woke up early, got in my car. I'm like, okay, finally this window is getting fixed. All the glass in my car is getting out. But no, my car doesn't start. I was like, what the heck is happening? So multiple hours later, figure out that it's the battery that's dead. And so I got a new battery, and then I had to change the appointment. Oh my God, I was like, why is this happening all on the first week of like transitioning all my clients and this new office? So now I'm like considering switching offices maybe, because I don't want my clients to have the same experience as me, like, you know, thinking that you're gonna go to therapy and like you're gonna have a great time. Well, not great time, but it'll be somewhat relaxing maybe, and you come back to your car as a client and a window smash. Like, I don't want that to happen. So that's my story. That's all I wanted to share for now. Just like the career updates. I guess that's it for today. I'll see you later. Bye.